Hi everyone! Today I'm going to share with you my top bullet journal supplies. First and foremost, you'll need a reliable bag to store all your supplies, and I want to give a special thank you to Teddy Blake for sending me this amazing leather bag all the way from Italy. And I love how it opens up, revealing all my essentials at a glance. Okay, let's start with the basics. I always have a mechanical pencil and a mono eraser on hand. Then I make sure to include a couple of writing pens, one black and one brown, and of course a trusty white gel pen. Next is the fine liners. Sakura Micron pens are my favorite. For calligraphy, I love to use the Fudenosuke pen. Moving on to markers, my main go-to is Tombow Joe brush pens. They come with a brush tip on one end and the same marker tip on the other. Another set of markers that I adore are the Mildliner pens, which also have the jaw ends, one for highlighting and one thin end. I also enjoy incorporating watercolors into most of my journal setups. While I have a few brands, I tend to reach for the Winsor & Newton palette the most. It's the one you'll often see me using in my videos. I also need a sturdy ruler for straight cuts and lines, and a reliable knife for clean edges. Other extra bits I like to have is some paper clips to hold pages in place, and some washi tapes that goes with the monthly theme. Now that we have all our supplies, let's dive into the journal setup. I'll be using my trusty imprint journal with 160 GSM paper, a crucial supply for me. We'll start by transitioning from May theme into June, going across the 2 pages. I'll begin by sketching out the first few days of June and adding a monthly header up top. Then, using the fine tip of my Tombow pen, I'll write down the numbers for the dates. With the help of my trusty mono eraser, I'll erase any pencil marks, and finally I'll use my Micron pen to outline the turtle I drew in the top right corner. Now let's bring out the Winsor & Newton palette and start painting the turtle. I love blending the 2 themes together, and I'll even incorporate some metallic paint for added depth. I like adding splashes, a technique I really enjoy. It splashes everywhere around the desk too, but I think it's worth it. And there you have it, the first 4 days of the month are complete. Now let's move forward. This was my June setup from Plan With Me video. And now we can create the rest of the pages. For this spread, I decided to sketch a playful narwhal on the right page, extending it through the middle with its iconic long tooth. I also wanted to incorporate a floral design, so I added some flowers behind the narwhal, along with a few leaves. And then I wrote down the date. Next, I'm writing down the days with my Micron pen. For this weekly spread, I chose a slightly thicker pen to achieve a bold font in the center. As you can see, I had to go over the letters a few times to achieve that desired thickness. Now let's add a loose watercolor effect to the narwhal and blend the colors together. Again, I'll incorporate some splashes with watercolors, giving the narwhal a vibrant and lively look. I'll also add some silver swirly highlights emanating from the tusk, tying the theme together. To maintain cohesiveness to the monthly theme, I'll add some green leaves using a colored pencil and create a tab on the right hand side. It's looking great. Now let's move on to the next page. On this page, I drew a jellyfish right in the center. I outlined the jellyfish with my Micron pen and added some intricate details to the tentacles. I tried to make them long in nice fluid motions. Try to move the whole arm, not just the wrist. To add more detail, I'll incorporate light frills in the middle and attach leaf-like shapes at the end of some of the tentacles. Adding line details to the frills will be the next step, followed by outlining each box with the Tombow pen. I like having a task section in my weekly spread, so let's make that in the corner. And on the left side, I drew a small watercolor J and add color to the jellyfish using shades of blue, purple and pink. As always, I added splashes, ensuring the theme remains consistent. To complement the design, I added the silver metallic paint for a shimmering effect when it catches the light. I like how this jellyfish turned out, stretching across the center of the 2 pages. I'll also add some splashes in the corner and incorporate a few extra leaves in green. Okay, let's make another weekly spread. For this, I decided to write the days vertically and then the dates right next to it. On the right, I'm going to draw a playful whale shark. I'll outline the whale shark using my micron pen and then employ the same watercolor technique that I've been using for the other animals. The paint really brings it to life using various shades of blues and purples. I especially love this turquoise blue. I decided to use the silver metallic paint to create a distinctive pattern on whale shark. Starting with the spots and then incorporating stripes down its back. And of course I'll add some splashes. I wanted to add more tiny silver spots on the whale shark's head but not around it, so I used a tissue to block off the areas. And just like that, another page is complete. Now for the remaining days of the month, I decided on a swimming manta ray in the top left corner. To ensure neat and straight edges, I used a piece of washi tape along the top of each box. With the Tombow marker, I'll gently brush along the tape, creating a crisp and straight line. This technique works perfectly and you only need one piece of tape, avoiding any wastage. I drew a vertical line in each box and then wrote down the dates. And then outlined the manta ray. Once again, I painted with watercolor using the same technique as before, starting with blue and finishing with the silver highlights. Colors really brings it to life and I'm loving the way it looks. Now let's make sure all the tabs are painted in. I like doing this at the end so I can create the grading of colors according to how many tabs I have. Adding splashes on one side of the tabs will tie it all together. And that's it for the June journal setup, featuring my essential bullet journal supplies. As always, you can find a printable version of the pages in the description, as well as links to the supplies and the Teddy Blake bag. Thank you for watching the video, I hope you learned something new. I'll see you in the next one, bye!